Okay, let's just begin talking. We're going to put the link in the description over here, but we've been asked to uh, have people help donate money to help with the legal defense of a friend of ours who's being persecuted by the system. As our British political scientists tell us, sometimes the process is the punishment. So here in Israel, we have a fellow, you could see in the news, his name is Ophir, Sa'ar Ophir. Sa'ar Ophir is the Israeli Daniel Penny, but more heroic. Who's Daniel Penny? Daniel Penny is a Marine fellow who is being put on trial in New York for the subway choker because he defended everybody who was on the thing. He saved lives from a maniac, and it so happens that he put the guy in some sort of hold. But whatever, he was an attempted murderer, and there's a lot of evidence that he didn't actually bring about the guy's death because there was a lot of police on the guy for like 20 minutes after the whole incident, and they basically messed up what they're supposed to do. But because Daniel Penny happens to be white, and the the guy he stopped is of colored, I guess, not perplexion. What's the thing? I'm looking for right complexion. No, they made a big deal about this, even though many people of also different complexions have come to the defense of Daniel Penny. It's very clear and it's all documented that the fellow did the right thing that Chazal encouraged, which was defend other people, save the near duff from the rodef. But because of the system, they're putting him through this. So Sa'ar Ophir is a real Jewish hero. What did Sa'ar Ophir do? Anybody know? Here's what he did. On Shmini Atzeres, then, right b'Shas Maaseh, he did what every Jew was fundamentally obligated to do by halacha, and that is he ran into battle to try to save others because he knew what he can do, and there wasn't any official response. So Sa'ar Ophir, basically, he's not did this in an organized manner. So he picked up whatever weapons he could. If you are an Israeli soldier or just a civilian, how much ammunition do you have? Okay, so I know that if you have a handgun, you have one magazine and it carries a certain amount of bullets, whatever it is, any from 10 to 15, and then you might have a spare magazine. Okay, and there's a limit to how much, as a civilian, how many bullets you can actually have in your possession. Okay, it's highly limited. So even if you fill up your magazines, you use maybe, let's say, you have 50 rounds at most, right? That's it. And if you have, let's say, an assault rifle, you're given an M16 because you are sort of partially on duty. Like a lot of Israelis you see walk around, they carry their weapons with them. How much ammunition do they have? Okay, not more than, I guess, 50 bullets or something like that. So obviously, in this, I remember the rabbi telling us the story just the Shabbos afterwards about the heroism of those who ran into battle, and they basically rearmed themselves by picking up whatever they could, finding someone who was killed or taken from the enemy. Just pick up whatever weapons you have and continue fighting. And he switched weapons and all that. He went through many rounds. So this fellow, Sa'ar Ophir, God bless him, also apparently had picked up some weapons. And thank God he killed many of the bad guys, many invaders. So, of course, we have those who are trying to destroy Am Yisrael in the legal system who found this hero and said, he must have committed some sort of crime. And they accused him of, and his friends, just try to stick it on as many people who were with him, that he was stealing weapons, illegal possession of weapons. He stole it from other soldiers, whatever they could say. It's true the guy had to pick up weapons, but he didn't steal anything from anybody, and that he committed some sort of murder. Why? Because apparently there's testimony that they actually captured one of these terrorists, and then they killed him. Now, aside from the fact that this is a joke, because this is a combat situation, okay, and aside from the fact that even if they did take a prisoner, there's no sense of taking prisoners. If the halacha is, if someone attempted murder of a Jew, or someone has made war against the Jewish people, and he is a male above the age of bar mitzvah, he is liable to death. Okay, there's no such thing as based in for such a person. There's no due process involved. If a person has taken up arms against a Jew or the Jewish people, then he is now forfeit. By the way, I'm just saying halacha. In let's say a state, assuming this guy was captured, there's no testimony about it. Eventually, have to let him free. But it would have been sensational to say, look, we caught a filthy Jew who was not living up to these crazy standards, and now they've arrested him again. Okay, on trumped up charges. You read the story; it doesn't make much sense. You probably remember just a few months ago they found some of these Nukhba terrorists in prison who were sodomizing each other. So one guy got a little bit out of hand, and he really hurt himself badly. He did Maisa Stone in Amora. So he was encouraged to testify against his yarmulke wearing Sabbath keeping, Torah observant Jewish guards in the prison, reservists. They must have done it to him. And they were, on testimony of, of a murderer. Remember, a murderer, his testimony is worth what in court? Bupkis, by the way, which is why plea bargains and things like that aren't recognized by halacha. Okay, if a person's a criminal, he can't take a plea bargain for himself. That's not emes. And he definitely can't take some sort of deal to testify against others. Adon Amesim Atzmo Russia, and certainly someone who has stake in the game, okay, he has skin in the game to testify against others, is not a valid witness against others. Okay, so these Western modes of don't make any sense. And don't forget, certain of these people, they have no credibility whatsoever. It's all in their interest to testify against them. So now they've combined these two cases. Sorrow Fear's case, they rearrested him, and they're saying that this fellow, this Ishmaelite or Amalekite, was abducted and beaten, and then he was done by a who's who of people. Aside from Sorrow Fear, other people they want to catch. For example, local security heads. It'd be great if the bad guys would find out who's in charge of security, let's say in this town, and then they would have their own fight, injure one of their own, and then he would go to the local police station and say, look, those settlers and the head of security in Kochav Yaakov, Ploni Ben Ploni, he's the one who did this to me. And then they'd love to arrest him and interrogate him and torture him or do whatever can. Just like you said, the process of the punishment. And hopefully maybe he'll just testify against someone else or just something so they could catch. And that's what they're doing now. So apparently some guy is accusing these Jews of really hurting him. No, like, look, the guy was hurt. There's, he is injured. And he was abducted, beaten. Why'd they kill him? I don't know. And it was 9 really significant people. We're not talking about youngsters. We're talking about people who are, families, respected people. Like I said, Jewish heroes. So it's great. So of course, the evidence is lacking. The story doesn't check out. And why does it take 9 people to do this to him? Doesn't make much sense. But whatever.
Because the Jews are savages.
Yeah, the Jews are savages. You can't ever catch these things on video. Aside from the fact that the bad guys themselves, they take video from all angles. They give a GoPro to everybody. They document all the things that they do, and everybody has cell phones nowadays and recording devices, and there's cameras all over the place. But for some reason, video evidence of all these really juicy things just doesn't happen. It's very strange. Okay, very strange indeed. So please give money to help these people, and we should know about this, and we shouldn't even be having to talk about this. It's almost a joke.